Hello everyone, and this is my review for WWE Smackdown on February 7th, 2017. And this was the go-home show for Elimination Chamber, and also Cena versus Orton match 4,857. We'll go with that. Actually, I think it's about 21 or 22 now on TV. Let's go off and say, let's go off at the beginning of the show. They started off with Daniel Bryan coming out. They were in Seattle, Washington, so of course you expect big pop, everything in that sense. Also, probably the best way of starting off the show. You have Daniel Bryan coming out. He kind of starts talking just to the fans and everything in that sense, not really building towards anything. So he gets interrupted by The Miz, which, of course, gets probably the loudest amount of boos that you could possibly get. Miz is just too good at playing the heel. He interrupts Daniel Bryan and comes out there, starts trying to get a word in edgewise, which the fans do not let him do. Matter of fact, in this entire promo time, nobody really makes too much towards Elimination Chamber until Dean Ambrose comes out. With the exception of Miz, he was trying to get something over, but like I said, he continually got interrupted by the fans, like to the point that Baron Corbin interrupts him immediately. And he comes out and cuts a quick promo, mostly on The Miz, about how he talks too much and everything in that sense. Doesn't really do much in the terms of selling off the chamber match outside of saying that he was going to win the WWE title on Sunday. Dean Ambrose comes out next after that. He starts, talking about how he would be at home in the chamber and everything. Like, he starts actually trying to sell the event a little bit more in every sense of everything. Which, once he's done with his promo, not even interrupted. Once he's just done with his promo, AJ Styles comes out. AJ Styles continues on where Dean Ambrose left off. I like the aspect that he's selling the Elimination Chamber match or at least with the 4 that were in the ring, and technically 5 with Cena. Or technically the other 3 in the ring and 4th with Cena. That he's beaten every single one of these guys in one-on-one situations and in matches and in every sense of the word. So he's like playing it off that he is the foregone favorite going into the match. I like the promo that was made in that sense. And before it goes into your typical brawl, it's Daniel Bryan interrupts and sets up a fatal 4-way. Between all 4 of them. So, the Fatal 4-Way match with Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, and Miz. I enjoyed this match. I thought it was a good, it was a good, fast-paced match. They kept, they definitely, they kept it shorter in the terms of a Fatal 4-Way. And with Baron Corbin going over and pinning AJ Styles, I'm actually okay with the way that they get to this, because it does make it even semi-fluky in the sense of, Fatal 4-Ways are supposed to be unpredictable. Anything can kind of happen. Someone can pin somebody else out of nowhere, or when, you think one person has the victory. That's kind of how they did it at the end. They made it feel like Miz was about to get the victory, and they made you feel like AJ was about to get the victory, but Maurice pulls out Miz, and when he turns around, he gets hit with the end of days, which allows Baron Corbin to win. I'm okay with this. I'm actually, I'm a big AJ Styles fan. I don't want to see him get buried out of nowhere, but the way that they pulled it off made it feel like it was unpredictable. And kind of comes out of nowhere, kind of like what would usually happen inside of a Fatal 4-Way match, or what you would think a Fatal 4-Way match would go at that time. So, it puts over one of their newer guys with Baron Corbin, has him technically have momentum going in, and I think, like I said, I actually enjoyed this one. I thought it was a well-paced match, and everybody kind of got everything, or not everything, but they kind of got something in throughout the entire match. Up next was a couple sets of promos here. First of all, it was Luke Harper cutting a promo on Randy Orton, basically, saying what his intentions were, that he never trusted Randy Orton in any way when he joined the Wyatt family, and that he is going to not only cut the head off of the cut the head off of the snake, he was going to make him hurt make him hurt first before he did that with Elimination at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which basically announces that Harper and Orton are going to have another match. This is going to be their second one in like 3 weeks now with each other. I like the promo from Luke Harper, and it's set into another match for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, which, you know, even though only announced that week, they kind of been building again to another one of these matches for quite some time, or for the period of time. So I'm okay with this, and you needed to get Orton on that show in some way, shape, or form. Up next after that one was another interview style promo with Nikki Bella and Natalya, and this is, you know, this feud has been an interesting one because they definitely play it off of quote-unquote real life. Maybe not how it actually is going with them, but they use their real life aspects behind everything. Natalya kind of is trying to point out that, oh, Nikki Bella is tries to make it play off. She uses everything in that sense to make herself look better at all times, and everything that sense plays more off of her relationship with John Cena. I like how Nikki fires back with the aspect is like the only thing that you're good at is wrestling, and what happens when she beats Natalya on Sunday at the pay-per-view. This interview was alright. They are definitely throwing a lot out there to try to make this feel like it's, you know, these two don't like each other. They're using a lot of real life stuff in the terms of either, you know, Nikki using the aspect of the Hart legacy, and Natalya using the aspect of her, Nikki being with John Cena and everything in that sense, using her sister Brie in there to go along with it. There's some okay stuff here. Maybe makes you feel a little bit. Probably some people makes them feel a little bit uncomfortable with how much they really talk, how much they talk about real life stuff in that sense of everything, and that even to the point of like, you know, Nikki's semi obsession with having a child, or maybe not obsession, but wanting to have a child at some point in time. To go along with it, like to the point of, you know, saying it's like, oh, you're gonna wish you could have a child but you never will, and everything and like that. It's like it almost semi uncomfortable, but kind of gets the point across of what they're going for. So this wasn't bad, but it wasn't this promo was not for everybody. We'll leave it at that. To go along with it, I thought it was all right though. Up next after that though was Apollo Crews going up against Dolph Ziggler. This was a quick match with Crews going over in a match. Wait a minute, Apollo Crews with a match. They're using. Well, I know they've been using him for run-ins the last couple weeks, but him actually having a match, kind of weird, in some way, shape, or form. After the match, though, Dolph Ziggler continues on this whole aspect of using a steel chair for everything and attacks Apollo Crews. Kalisto comes down to make the save, but Dolph Ziggler stops him and ends up hitting him with a chair. This does lead to a backstage promo. Backstage promo with Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan, where it's like he's trying to get an explanation from Dolph Ziggler. It's like, you know, I could be out there winning matches or doing this and doing that, but just beating these guys. But, you know, he even makes the points like, you know, I could beat both of them one-on-one. I could beat them both at the same time. But using a steel chair is just more fun. And that causes Daniel Bryan to make the handicap match at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So it's gonna be Dolph Ziggler going up against Kalisto and Apollo Crews. Actually, I don't mind these segments. They've been kind of building up to something in this sense between both sides. The aspect that Dolph continually uses a chair after the matches, and regardless if he wins or loses, he attacks his opponent afterwards, is been an interesting way of going and an interesting way of having Dolph Ziggler go heel throughout this entire time. So it came off well in the end. It came off well enough. I actually liked Smackdown for the most part this week. I thought it was a pretty good one. And there was one segment that they were building throughout the entire show. It was a quote unquote first ever dual contract signing between for setting up for the matches with Alexa Bliss and Naomi and Becky Lynch and Mickie James. I was worried about this segment. It's like they build something as first ever and everything like that. It's like, okay, this could come off bad and everything in that sense. But the promos that they delivered were great. Like, the promos between Alexa Bliss, or not Alexa Bliss, but Mickie James and Becky Lynch were done really well. And I liked how Alexa Bliss played it off that Becky Lynch was the only other person in the ring outside of Alexa, Mickie, and Becky, to the point that it's like it was playing off the aspect that she doesn't even care about her match with Naomi. She doesn't even acknowledge her in any way. That's kind of something that Alexa Bliss would do in there, and also playing off of her like cutting her promo after Becky Lynch, so she cuts it on Becky, and then it's like, oh yeah, you're here, and then Naomi fires back as well. I thought this segment was actually good. I love the promos from I love the promos from Becky Lynch and Mickie James. Both of them cut really good promos. I also like the promos from Alexa Bliss and Naomi as well. Just how they played off of everything and doing the contract signings. Of course, it leads into a brawl at the end because, well, all main roster contract signings lead to that in some way, shape, or form. So I guess they had to do it again there. But overall the segment was good. I was worried about going into the segments because, like, okay, this could become a jumbled mess. But no, they kept it pretty clear, concise, and to the point, and cut some pretty good promos leading into their matches on Sunday. So, oh no, not a bad segment. Was worried about this segment, but it came out pretty good in the end. Up next was a 12-man tag. You had and you notice my tone kind of goes down. I was not a big fan of this one. The match itself was fine, but you had a 12-man tag with Heath Slater and Rhino, American Alpha, and Breeze Dango going up against the Usos, the Ascension, and the Von Villains. First of all, they apparently only have 2 face tag teams because you have a heel tag team on the side that had the 2 faces to go along with it. And this also seems to be like their go-to match in some way, shape, or form, going into like tag team pay-per-view matches with the tag teams in it, especially with the tag team turmoil match this Sunday. This 12-man tag thing has kind of been SmackDown's go-to for their tag division, and it's kind of daunting. It's kind of daunting in that sense. Like I said, the match was fine, and I even like the aspect of one of the Ascension picking up the victory when, Victor got the pin over Rhino at the end of the match. And the match itself and the action inside the ring was fine, but again, I think we've seen a 12-man tag at least 5 or 6 times since the brand split, and that seems to be the only thing that they do like going into pay-per-views. They haven't really done much building up their tag teams out, and since initializing the tag team division. Like, I love the tag team tournament that they did and everything, and also how it built up with Heath Slater and Rhino. But since then, it's kind of they're just all there. They're just there. Watch them. Love them. We won't give you a reason to love them, but just love them. I'm not a big fan of the tag division on SmackDown right now. Because, like I said, it just feels like it's there right at this point. But we'll see how the Tag Team Turmoil match comes off. I expect the Tag Team Turmoil to be at least a decent show. Decent showing for all sides. I expect a few quick pins in there and everything in that sense, but it'll lead down to what I think will probably be a pretty entertaining match on the pay-per-view. I don't expect any NXT call-up teams to come in there. I don't expect DIY or the Revival to show up in there, though those would be great too. It's like just at the end of the match, one of those 2 teams show up, but I think they're still working programs in NXT, so I don't think they're going to call them up quite yet. So this leads into the main event of the night, which was John Cena and Randy Orton for the 12,458th time in their careers. AKA, I think, match 22 on live TV. This match was actually kind of fun. I know their chemistry and everything in that sense has not been that good in the past, and these matches have kind of been not frowned upon in some way, shape, or form by the fans at some points in time, at least the more internet crowd fans. But honestly, this match with them was a pretty good one. It was rather entertaining. I like the aspects of, them getting the referee out of the way. When they get the referee out of the way, Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper eventually get involved inside the match, teasing again. Like, I like how Harper teases that he's still under Bray Wyatt's control, and then just discus clothesline and making it feel like that he's no longer under Bray Wyatt's control in any way. Cena going over with the AA after both guys had kicked out of their finishers in a normal one-on-one match without the title on the line. That was probably one main gripe on that. It's like they could have gotten through this match with only doing one finisher in some way, shape, or form. They didn't have to kick out of each other's finishers in this one, but kind of overkill on that one, and probably a little bit of nitpicking because, like I said, this was a fun. This match between the two of them was a rather fun one. I did enjoy this match. They come off well, even though we've seen it a lot in the years. But yeah, overall, this week's SmackDown was pretty good. It was a pretty good show this week. I thought it was a good way of going into Elimination Chamber. They built up a lot, and most of the guys going in there, you're working with people that they were supposed to be going up against on Sunday in some way, shape, or form, or they built something around something for the pay-per-view matches going into the actual show itself. So overall, this week's SmackDown was actually a fairly good show, and a good way of going into Elimination Chamber. So we'll see how everything goes off on Elimination Chamber. Expect a review of some kind. After the show, and depending on whether or not I'm going to the event or not, which I'm kind of up in the air whether or not that's going to happen. I got to see what my friends are going to be wanting to do about the show. There may be live reactions then if we don't go to the show in some way. So, with that being said, guys, that is my review this week for WWE Smackdown Live. I thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a great day.